Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is metals and non-metals, we were talking about that of the chemical properties. So we had completed with the chemical properties of the metals and non-metals, and we have seen that basically there are a lot of a reaction which is shown by the metals as well as by the non-metals. If we discuss about that of the metal student, you will find that the metals used to react with the oxygen to form oxide, and this happens with a different temperature. Non-metals, they also forms the oxide, but they need a good temperature. It means when they will burn, then obviously they will produce the oxide. Metals used to react with the water in order to form the metal hydroxide, and non-metals, they do some of them they do not react with the water. Metals used to react with the acid in order to form salt, and hydrogen gases evolved through it. But if we discuss about the non-metals do not show any kind of a reaction with the acids. So these are the things these are the chemical properties that we had seen, that we had discussed already in the chemical properties of that of the metal and non-metal. After that, we have started with a very important topic, student, and that is a reactivity series of a metal. What is the reactivity series of the metal? What is the reactivity series of the metal, student? So basically, when you look at the reactivity series, this is a series which is made of a metal, and basically we have arranged the metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity. What does that mean? It means metals, they all are not reactive. There are some of the metals which are quite more reactive, which are less reactive. Okay, so it varies. The reactivity of them, it varies. And to show that they are reactive or not reactive, we have arranged them into a series, and that series is called as the reactivity series. So we have arranged the metals from the decreasing order in their reactivity, and you see that if we start with the first one, it means the metal which we consider as the most reactive metal. It is the potassium. So potassium, then sodium, and finally if we come to the last one, which is supposed to be the least reactive, most least reactive of that of the metal, that is the platinum. In this reactivity series, you will find that we have included hydrogen also. Hydrogen, although we know that it is a non-metal, but we had included because it generally shows the properties of the metals. So this is the reactivity series of metal. Now the question arises that why we are learning this reactivity series? What is the use of this reactivity series? So whenever we are talking about the reactivity series, we will say that we have arranged it in order of their reactivity. It means there are metals which are more reactive than the others. So according to their reactivity, we use them in the reaction, and we see that the most reactive will displaces the less reactive metal. So how we will come to know that it is the less reactive, it is the most reactive? With the help of the reactivity series of the metal. So this we had seen in case of the reactivity series, student. Now let us try to understand this with the help of a reaction that is included in our syllabus. It is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. So a displacement reaction. What is a displacement reaction, students? So displacement reaction is a reaction in which the most reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. Then that reaction is called as the displacement reaction. Okay, so we can write here the definition, that is displacement reaction is a type of reaction. Displacement reaction is a type of reaction in which A more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. More reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal to form its compound. So we can say here that a reaction in which, it is a type of a reaction in which a more reactive that displaces the less reactive metal, that we call as a displacement reaction. Okay, example is like we have seen in case of a magnesium. When this magnesium react with the copper oxide, this is what it is, magnesium. This is copper oxide. What happened after that, students? So this magnesium, it displaces the copper, okay, and there is a formation of a magnesium oxide plus copper will be removed. So here magnesium oxide and then copper. What happened here in this reaction? When you look at the reactivity series, what we will find that magnesium is what? It is at the upper. Magnesium is at the top to that of the copper. You know that the copper is below to that of magnesium. So what does that it proves? It proves that copper is less reactive than that of magnesium. So magnesium, it displaces. Displace means what? It changes its place. Okay. So it displaces the place of a copper and forms the oxide with that of the oxygen. Here you can see that magnesium was there and here copper and oxide was there. So this copper and oxide together was there. It means copper oxide was there. So magnesium, it displaces the copper and it combined with that of oxygen, forming the magnesium oxide. So this what happened? It changes the place. The place of the copper was displaced by that of magnesium and thus formation of a magnesium oxide happens. So we can write it here that in this reaction, magnesium being more reactive displace copper, which is less reactive. So magnesium being more reactive displaces copper, which is actually less reactive. From copper oxide to form magnesium oxide. Okay, from copper oxide it will form magnesium oxide, students. Okay, so this is the displacement reaction. So by this we have understood here one thing, that how we came to know, student, that the magnesium is more reactive than that of the copper. So we have understood with the help of the reactivity series. when we have looked at of the reactivity series, we find that the magnesium is more reactive than that of the copper, and thus it was easy to displace the copper from its place. Okay, so that was the magnesium oxide. Here, one thing that is important to note down, that only the more reactive metal will displaces the less reactive. It means that the less reactive is not able to displaces the more reactive. Okay, so let me write it here. That is an important one. So we can write it here, that is a metal reacts with a compound of another metal only if it is higher in reactivity series. Higher in reactivity series as compared metal present at lower in reactivity series. Okay, metal which is present at the higher one is able to react with the metal which is present at the lower reactivity series here, student. Let us find some of more examples related to it. So before that, again I want to explain this reaction. Here it is saying that only the higher will going to react with that of the lower. What does that mean? If we will see the reaction in such a way that here, if the reaction is like that, the magnesium oxide, instead of magnesium react with the copper oxide, but the copper react with the magnesium oxide. So it is copper, it is magnesium oxide. So look at here, students, that is copper reacts with the compound consisting of a magnesium in it. Is it possible that this reaction can take place when we are knowing that the copper is what? It is lower in reactivity series than the magnesium which is present at higher in the reactivity series. So copper being lower at the reactivity series will be not able to react with the magnesium oxide. So no reaction will take place here. I hope you have understood the condition which is required for the displacement reaction to be occur. That is, at least the copper should react with the metal which is lower from that of the copper instead of the metal which is higher to it. So now you have understood that why the reactivity series is important for us, in order that we can understand that which one is more reactive, which one is the less reactive. Let us see some more example related to it. So, zinc reacts with copper sulfate. zinc react with copper sulfate to form zinc sulfate, and copper. So here you can say zinc. Zinc is represented by Zn. This is what? This is zinc. This zinc reacts with the copper sulfate. So copper Cu sulfate SO4. Copper sulfate. This is what? This is the copper sulfate. Now you will see that zinc being more reactive than that of the copper again. So it will do what? It will displaces the copper from the copper sulfate, and instead of that it will form a sulfate that is known as the zinc sulfate, students. So it will form the zinc sulfate, ZnSO4 plus copper. So zinc sulfate and copper is formed. Okay. So zinc react with the copper sulfate to form zinc sulfate and copper here, students. So this happens as zinc is more reactive than copper, so it displaces the copper, and thus formation of a zinc sulfate happen and copper is released. Now another reaction that we can see here, that is silver does not react with the copper sulfate. Silver does not react with copper sulfate. Does not react with the copper sulfate. So here Ag is what? That is silver. It will react with the CuSO4, that is copper sulfate. Now you can see here, students, that Ag, silver, have you seen that when we were talking about the reactivity series, we have seen that silver was what? It was the third last, means platinum was the least reactive, just above to platinum was gold, and just above to gold was silver. So if we compare with that of the copper, because we have seen the case of a zinc and the magnesium, and we have seen in both the cases, copper was less reactive, so it was easy for them to displace the copper and can forms the compound. But here in this case, the copper sulfate is there, student, but silver being less reactive, it is not able to react with the copper sulfate, and ultimately there will be no reaction take place. So we can understood by this that reaction can only take place if the metal is more reactive than the other metal. Okay. Now we will see some of the more examples of that of the displacement reaction. Some of the more examples. So, aluminium displaces iron from iron chloride to form aluminium chloride. To form aluminium chloride and iron. So aluminium displaces iron from iron chloride. So let us write the that of the reaction. This is aluminium represented by capital A and small l. Aluminium. When it react with the iron chloride. So iron chloride is what? FeCl2. This is the formula of a iron chloride. FeCl2. Then what happened? Then there is a formation of AlCl3 plus Fe. Now here it will be 3Fe. This will be 3. This will be 2. AlCl. This is 2. This will be aluminium chloride and this is iron. Okay. So you can see here aluminium react with the iron chloride. Now you see aluminium being more reactive than that of the iron, it displaces the iron from its place and form the aluminium chloride and iron is removed. Iron is removed from it. Okay, so we can say here that being more reactive, it is easy for the aluminium to displace the iron and forms the aluminium chloride. Next one is iron. Student, displacement reaction is important in every point of view because it is not restricted, it is not up to class 8, but even in the higher classes also you will going to study about displacement reaction. So at least you should know that what is a displacement reaction. So iron displaces copper from copper sulfate to form iron sulfate and copper. So iron, it displaces copper from copper sulfate and finally it will forms the copper and iron sulfate. So if you write here the iron displaces copper from copper sulfate, so Fe, it will react with CuSO4. Fe is what? That is the formula of iron. This is the formula of copper sulfate. It will form FeSO4, that is iron sulfate plus copper. Okay. So now again we can say here that iron being more reactive than that of the copper, which is in the copper sulfate solution, it will displaces the copper and instead of that being more reactive, it will form its own solution, that is iron sulfate solution. Okay. What happened here, student? In this reaction, you will find that the iron filling or an iron nail we have taken and we dipped it in the copper sulfate solution. When you look at the color of the copper sulfate solution, you will find that the color is a blue color. Okay, it is blue in color. And when this iron displaces the copper and the formation of the iron sulfate happens, due to which there is a change in the color happens, and that is green in color. Okay, so we can say, and this will is what? Reddish brown. The iron nail, you will find it becomes a reddish brown, which is what? Which is the color of that of the copper. So we can say here that iron being more reactive, when it displaces, there is a change in the color. So the change in color also help in confirming us that this reaction has taken place and the reaction is the displacement reaction. Okay, so this is all about the displacement reaction, students. So this reaction basically work on the reactivity series of the metal. If we are knowing that this metal is reactive, then absolutely we are able to solve that of the displacement reaction also. Okay. Moving on, and we will see the next topic here, and that is of corrosion. Corrosion. Corrosion is what, student? Corrosion of the metal is a process in which the surface of the metal get corroded. What is this corroded? It means it get eaten up by the action of the air, by the action of the moisture. Okay, so we can write here the definition, that is corrosion of metal is the process due to which the surface of a metal gets eaten up by the action of air and moisture. By the action of air and moisture. Okay, so corrosion metal is the process due to which the surface of the metal it gets eaten up by the action of air and moisture. So basically what happened, this metal reacts with the oxygen. Reacts with the oxygen. It reacts with the oxygen and moisture present in it. And moisture present in it to form a layer of its compound. To form a layer of its compound on its surface. So basically we can say here that the metal, when it reacts with the oxygen and moisture present in it, it forms a layer of the compound on its surface. That was cause of the corrosion, students. Now corrosion is what? It is a continuous process in which the gradual eating up of the metal happens, and due to which the metal got rust or metal get destroyed. Corrosion is a continuous process. It is a continuous process which gradually eats up the metal, and weakens it. and weakens it. Okay. So it is what? It is a process which is gradually eaten up by the metal and weaken it. In case of the iron, we call it rust. In case of the iron, corrosion in the iron is called as the rust, students. Okay, called as the rusting.